This is the Actor Factor podcast with Brad Ashton and Diego Garcia. Today's guest is talent manager Sarah Shirene.
Hey, hello, happy day to you. Happy day, everybody. Welcome to the Actor Factor. I'm Brad Ashton.
I'm Diego.
This is our podcast.
Welcome.
Hey, man, Diego, it is another beautiful day here in Los Angeles, California.
Can't complain.
Okay, if we did, nobody would care.
But we do complain.
People do complain all the time about, the weather out here and how it's just too beautiful right now. Hey, what's going on today, man? What do you have going on? I got a couple things, but I want to ask you first about yours. What's up?
I got some more voiceover auditions that came in last night. But I need, I get a day to look at them, so I want to kind of look at them. There are 4 different roles for the same animated show that they're putting on.
Yeah.
We can't say what it is.
They are, yeah.
But, yeah, it's been nice actually diving into this voiceover world. I took a voiceover class at the beginning of last year.
Okay.
To kind of, because of the pandemic and everything, I feel like I've been trying to do stuff like that.
Who taught that class?
Kalmanson.
Okay.
They're great.
Very good.
I recommend them. And I just did level 1. You can move on to several levels there. You can start. I didn't dive in too deep into like character development and things like that, but just how to approach the mic, how to break down a script, similar to breaking down a script for a scene.
Yeah.
You want to get as much information as you can out of it. But that's it. That's kind of what's going on for me. What about you?
Voiceover stuff, huh?
Yeah.
That's fantastic, man. You don't come out too hot out of the gate, right? Come out hot out of the gate.
No, you got to pretend that the mic is someone's here, and you're just
trying to tell them.
Yeah, they're right here.
Hey, they're right. Yeah, they can hear you.
You don't need to shout at me.
Nobody needs to shout at anybody. Shouting doesn't get anybody.
Did this turn into an ASMR all of a sudden?
You can be whatever.
Can you hear me sipping?
How about me just doing this?
Yeah. But you know what? I'm going to play this back all day and listen to it. I'm an ASMR freak.
Hey, that's what I hear. That's what I've been reading on the web. The interweb is good stuff, man.
What about you? You got some auditions lined up? Did you send some off?
I had a couple that I had to tape yesterday for a couple of projects, and it was funny. One of them was just for a non-speaking role for a shirtless GI. And he's painting. Oh, I know. When you have the physique guy, too, they really just, I think they, they're like, oh, we'll just audition all these people. And then, be shirtless in your audition. And I don't have a problem being shirtless at all. Like, I don't mind.
Actually, you look great. And there's probably pictures up on your IMDb that show that, right?
Yeah. But, I'm not saying to let myself go, but, I'm toned, but I'm toning from like below my pecs. I'm toned, and my pecs are just like bird chesty. So I don't know, man. Yeah, it's why you got to stay at it, guys. You got to stay at it every single day. You got to be focused. If you're a workout freak, and you're concerned about your body and your physique, then you got to stick with that, and you got to keep doing it every day. Because I wasn't a workout freak by any means. I was getting healthy, and I liked the way my body looked. And then I just got to a point, the past few months, I just stopped completely working out. And I'm eating, double stuffed cookies. I'm eating ice creams.
Isn't it okay to give your body a break every once in a while? And just kind of, because, it could, even if you're doing that routine and being healthy, your body can also still plateau in those situations. You got to kind of shock it every once in a while.
You're right.
Eat that donut, eat that chocolate bar, really go for it.
Yeah, and then the second you start going for it, really eating all those, your agent's like, hey, you need to be shirtless for this audition.
And you're like,
little donuts in your mouth.
Oh my gosh.
So that was one of the things. And then, a couple of other projects that are really cool that, of course, that travel, they're out of the country. It was something that was in Vancouver. And I'm like, oh man, how cool would that be just to get something to go shoot in Vancouver? But
I like that they're traveling more these days. I feel like all the auditions are coming back.
Yeah, it's really crazy. Remember when pilot season used to be a big thing, and it used to be X month to X month. You'd be in February to April, May, June-ish, and just those couple months, and it was really, really busy. And now it's really just all year long. Usually around now you'd stop with the auditions and be kind of shutting down for the holidays, right?
But there's still productions going on.
Yeah, they don't stop. You're going to have the Thanksgiving break for the week here, but then it's going to be right back in it for the next 3 weeks till Christmas comes.
Right.
Then they'll be jumping back into it the second week after January. So Really cool, man. It's really, really cool, really exciting stuff. I'm excited for everything coming up. I'm excited for the future. I'm really excited for everything we have going on, especially this podcast, and especially everybody we get to talk to. I mean, we're very, very fortunate.
Very lucky to hear back from professionals doing their thing in this business that really enlightens. It can enlighten you, it enlightens us for sure.
And definitely an inspiration, I think, for the both of us, because like we said, if you're ever getting down and you're auditioning for these things and you're not booking, it's really great, because on your podcast you can talk to working actors who are working every day, and then hopefully it'll rub off on you, a little bit of that, which I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to our guests, looking forward to speaking to them, and soaking up as much knowledge as I can. My middle name is Sponge.
I did not know that.
No, yeah, I changed it legally. If celebrities can, Meta World Peace, Remember the basketball player, Ron Artest, right? Everybody's changing their names. Kanye did it. Mm-hmm. He's done it several times. So yeah, Sponge. I'm going with Sponge. Okay. I want to soak it all up. It's my goal. That is definitely my goal. So, all right, man. Well, is that all we have to report in this lovely, lovely day? Is that all we
I think so. We've always got something going, which is fantastic. We're lucky. One of the few, actually.
We are. We're lucky that we have representation that still fights for us, and we show up every day. So you got to do that. You got to show up, because, like we said before, and we say it again, you never know which one's going to be the one.
Mm-hmm. Always gaining confidence with your agents and managers if you're prepared that way.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, are you ready for some fun? Should we do it? You want to get it right into this and then talk to our first guest?
Let's do it.
All right, here we go.
You're listening to The Actor Factor.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to The Actor Factor. Thank you so much again for being here, everybody. Our first guest up today is Sarah Shirene. She is with Big Dreams Talent Management over in the famous Hollywood, California. Sarah, how are you today?
Hi, I'm doing really well. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you so much for being on our podcast. We really, really appreciate you. I mean, you're so full of knowledge, and that's why we had to get you on here, because we have tons of questions and we want to ask you, because, our listeners, we go from novice to like totally expert and in every aspect of the field. So we're going to pick your brain a little bit and try to get down to the grassroots of it all. So managing, how long have you been managing talent in this beautiful town?
I've been managing since late 2017. So really hard for 4 years.
Fantastic. How many clients do you have on your roster?
We have close to 90 right now. So
90 over at Big Dreams Talent. That's fantastic. It's good. It's good that it's boutique and it's not too out of hand. You don't have 350 people. And I know you guys quite well. So I know you guys aren't just taking a bunch of clients over there and just throwing things against the wall to see what sticks. You're really taking the cream of the crop, because you want all your clients to be working, obviously, and you want to be able to do work for them. So
yeah, we're really selective, and we really believe in our clients, and we don't take people that are, kind of going to compete against each other. So yeah, we are very selective.
Yeah, I think you need to be. That's the only way to get people work. Because if you had, 3 people in the same category, it's like, how do you, fight for them?
Yeah, exactly.
What got you into managing? What were you doing before that?
Well, my degree is in journalism, but I sell real estate as well. But entertainment has always been my passion. So my college internship, I interned at the Jana Luker agency, and that's where I met Kathy. And, we became friends, and they ended up signing me. So I was, working in the agency and acting also. And I just loved to see the breakdowns. I loved it. And I would check them every day, and I would just I got such a rush feeling from it, because it's just you get to be so creative, and it's just so exciting to see what's casting and what the different characters were, and I would work on scripts and things myself. So I eventually decided to consider management, because having an agency, you need a license, and you have to have a place, an office. So management just seemed more hands-on, more fun, and easier also. So Kathy and I kind of merged together and, started Big Dreams Talent. And it's been a lot of fun. We're having a blast. We love our clients, and it's so exciting and rewarding to see, you know, people grow and to tell people they got the part versus like real estate in that industry. Like the money's amazing, but you know, it's just a lot more stressful, and I just don't get the same kind of gratification and positive energy that I get from, you know, my management clients. So it's just a totally different animal.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's, you know, what I like about managers, I mean, I love agents as well. But, you know, I feel like I like my agents. I love my agents. I'm saying I love my agents, but I really, really love my managers. And the reason is because they're kind of like the in-between between, you know, you and your agent. And they seem like they're a little more hands-on with you, and you're able to talk to them a little easier. You can give them a call, shoot them an email, and, you know, they're more apt to return your call. That's what I love about you guys. You know, whereas when you get with the agents, you know, they tend to be sometimes a little bigger. They have, you know, a lot more clients, and maybe they don't have enough time for you, which is great. I don't want my agent to really have time for me, because then they're not submitting me, right? It's like,
right. Yeah, that's true.
So how has the pandemic changed the business and the industry for you? Has it really at all, if anything at all? You know, as terms on
the management side, you know, honestly, I could say the biggest change is just now everything, like 99% of, you know, auditions are all self-tape. But that was kind of a direction we were headed. And honestly, like personally as an actress, that was my preference, because I liked the ability to be able to do it again and just, you know, kind of like, you know, throw in a prop or just kind of like, you know, just have a little bit more fun with it versus when you went into the office, it was always that pressure of like, you didn't know who was going to read with you. You didn't know what the office space looked like. It's like they just throw directions at you and it's like, go. And you have to just be like, you know, you have so much more nerves running through your body and you just don't get a chance. And then sometimes I would leave auditions like, man, I messed up that one word. And it's like, I would just beat myself up for the rest of the day. But now we have the ability to send what we feel is our best. And so what I was kind of doing for my clients before it became like all self-tape was I would just kind of like let casting know like, oh, they're shooting something today. Can we do, because they would always give the option, oh, if your actors need to tape, let us know. So I would always make my actors look good and say, oh, they're on set, you know, filming this commercial or filming this TV show. Can they self-tape? And they would say, yeah, sure. You know, for my actors that preferred it. You know, like me personally, I did. Some, you know, actors that are old school, they like to go in the room and meet the casting director and stuff. But I would say more than half would prefer to just send their tape because it's time, it's money, driving across the city and traffic. You know, you have to take time off work. Some of these parents with their kids, it's just like, it's a lot to go to these auditions. So it makes it so much more easy, I think, to be able to just turn in your tape. So that, I would say, is the biggest change.
Yeah, I think 100% agree. Although I do feel like I was old school and it was like, oh no, I have to do this and I have to set up my own lights. I did feel like a little grumpy about it, you know, at first.
It's stressful at first, but once you gain your confidence, like, to be honest, like me personally as an actress, so many times like I go and I spend hundreds of dollars on crazy coachings. And actually one time I was auditioning for this show Swamp Flower, which is a show on Apple TV, and it was a can-can dance instructor. And I was like, you know what? I spent the whole weekend in my apartment. I taught myself how to can-can dance. I was like totally vibing and like getting into it. And I ended up just doing it myself, and they put me on a veil. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't have to go spend $300 on a coach. I just took my ring light from Amazon, turned it on, got into the character. And it changed my mind because I realized like it doesn't have to be this perfect, you know, professional studio, you know, production for a self-tape. And I've had clients, you know, also like to go back to my clients, I get to see the tapes that work. And I've had clients, one of my clients practically living in his car, and he like did his self-tape for a Denzel Washington movie, A Journal for Jordan. He did it in his backyard and he got the part. And I've seen tapes that are just like, you know, really high production where I can tell they've spent hundreds of dollars, and I've seen others that it's like noisy in the background. But if you're right, you're right.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I don't want actors that maybe can't afford that to get discouraged.
Yeah, we tell our listeners that exact same thing. You don't need to spend a whole lot on your taping, and you know, if you can set up in your house, that's the way to go. If you got a friend who can do it for you, do it. Because I mean, they make it so easy for you to do it on your own. You just need to have the drive to get up and set it up.
You need to be able to be heard and seen. That's it. And even I've had actors like will record their other person's lines because they don't even have a reader. And they'll record the other person's lines, and then, you just play it like from your computer or something. And you're basically in your own scene, but you're playing both characters. You can do that too. You have to get creative.
We've done those things.
And we actually talked about, we mentioned that on a former podcast, is exactly that, because I had an audition that way, and I didn't have any help. And this was the past couple weeks. And, I recorded the lines, and then I was acting opposite myself. And, I can't tell on the tape. I mean, I know because I'm the one that did it, and it's my voice acting as opposite me. But I've called Diego up and sent him tapes before and said, hey, can you do some ADR? Here's the lines, and he'll drop the lines and send it back. I've only booked one thing like that with my Southeast agent. I booked one thing like that where I acted opposite myself, and I ended up getting the part. And then I was actually working out there, and I went and had lunch with her, and I ended up confessing that I did that. And, she was kind of like taken aback by it. And then I got home, and then a week later, I promise you, she sent out an email to every one of our clients saying, do not do that. You need to have a reader.
Because if you think about it, when you're on the set, like, and you're doing a close-up, you're just acting by yourself too. Like, that's so strange.
Yeah.
So many actors are on the set when the other person's not in the shot, and they're just acting with themselves. So
that's right. There are
surprised.
some shows that you'll be out there working, and if you're working opposite a named actor, especially, and they're not there that day, or you're having to get changed for something else, they'll stick you there, and you'll be acting to the camera and the script supervisor. So. Yeah, you're right. It's kind of the same thing.
Well, hey, all I can say is why argue with success? I mean, you got the part, so what's she complaining about?
If it ain't broken, don't fix it, right?
Right.
And we were also...
That's interesting. Every casting director has their own, I guess, policies and expectations. And, that's why I always tell my actors just read, they give those extensive directions. Some want to slate, some don't want to slate, some want to slate on every scene, some want 5 takes, some want to say do not send more than 1 take. So it's really important for actors to just make sure they read all the directions, because I think that would be the biggest pet peeve as a casting director. If an actor automatically doesn't read what I've taken the time to say, they're probably not even going to want to finish your tape because it's annoying.
True.
They want everything to be the way they want it to be. So I guess for that casting director, make sure you get a reader. You can call me if you need someone to read with you next time.
So do you have a lot of clients? I mean, do you typically try to get feedback for your clients whenever they do submit the tapes, or are you too busy for that? Or the casting directors typically tell you they don't have time to give you feedback? How does all the feedback work? How do you know if your actors suck?
We don't do a lot of feedback. I mean, so the closest thing to a callback for a theatrical appointment is we'll get told your client's on a short list to producers. Other terms are, they're being watch and advise or, pinned. So that's basically kind of like the callback per se, because they're still making their final decisions, which I personally, it's kind of nice to know you're on a bail, but it's also annoying at the same time because it's yes, but it's not a yes.
Yeah. I would rather not be told. I don't want my agents telling me anything like that. As a veil's annoying, it doesn't mean you got it anymore. Back in the day, I feel like a veil was like, you're it. They're just going to solidify dates and make sure you are good for those dates. That's how I feel like it used to be. Now it's like
now
you
with
15.
COVID, that could be another change. It's just they test you so many times, and actors are, maybe asymptomatic. They don't realize they're sick. Then they fail the COVID test, so they have to go to the next choice or something, So they are probably lining up more people because with the way the world is right now, it's so crazy. They want to make sure that they're ready when they want to shoot.
That makes sense over the last few years for sure.
Yeah, have a backup plan.
But as far as feedback goes, sometimes our clients will ask for feedback. Generally, they don't, because casting directors, they won't ever say, oh, I'm just too busy. They'll usually say, oh, she did a great job. But we went a different direction. They don't ever say, oh, she's terrible. Well, first of all, I already know that our actors aren't terrible, because if the tape was really bad, not that our client tapes are ever really bad, but there are sometimes for our not experienced actors, Kathy and I will give redirects and say, hey, try it like this, or this line, we didn't feel it was honest, or, we'll give a redirect. So whatever is being sent out there, it's good. But, so there's times when our clients feel really good about a role, and we will, just to make the client happy, sometimes you just need to hear that. It was great. But we don't really know how, honest the feedback is, if they're really going and looking, oh, this person, unless we have a strong relationship with the casting director, which some we do, because we've had regulars on a show. So we've had like weekly contracts and communication with a few particular casting offices. And so those we know we really could get the honest, but others it might be the assistant and said, oh yeah, he did great, but went a different direction,
So you have any casting directors that have come back and said, oh, these tapes aren't any good? Like, well, because here's the thing is Diego and I started doing things in the past year where we were actually trying to tape the scenes as if we were shooting a mini movie, because we thought, oh, heck, the casting directors are people. And if they got to watch tapes, they're watching the same damn tape from everybody every day with the same blue or gray backdrop.
We thought we'd change it up and give them something a little extra during their day.
Yeah. But we don't know if the casting directors, do they like that? Like, if the scene takes place in a bar and he and I were to go down to a bar and he's filming me shoot, my scene in the bar, do you think that's distracting for the casting director? Have you heard anything from them in regards to that? Are people even doing that?
They usually say, they prefer like a plain black backdrop. But I personally think, I have seen some of my actors, like I said, my client, he shot it in his backyard and he was doing the push-ups because he's a soldier in the movie. And Michael Jordan is screaming at him. I guess he's his lieutenant or whatever you call it. And anyway, so he's like exercising. So he actually exercised in the audition. But some people feel like you don't, need to like do the directions. They prefer some people just do the lines. But I think it is nice to color it a little bit. I mean, don't get too carried away, but like, it makes it more honest. I feel like when you're actually, doing something, because in real life you would be doing something. You're not just staring at the person and talking to them or looking away on occasion.
Right. So
I feel like having, things, that's what's fun about self-taping is, it's, you get a chance to, and at the end of the day, it's your art and it's your creation. So you need to feel good about it. If you feel good about being in the bar setting, then be in the bar setting, because you might get the best performance of your life in the bar setting. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I love that.
And just wait for someone to then, it's like no news is good news, but if they say, look, don't do that anymore, then, I'll be like, all right, thank you. I appreciate you telling me that, and I won't do it. But sometimes, as actors, we don't get that kind of feedback right away.
I would say the only thing like not to do is because like I saw one of our actors, he's so talented. He was like in the kitchen and he kept kind of like walking out of frame and things like that. And that doesn't really work. You kind of have to kind of plant your feet. You can move around your body a little bit, but you want to kind of just stay around. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, the casting director and the producers and directors, they're trying to cast you. So they want to see what you look like, and they got to know what you look like on film. And if you're off, in the bathroom and your lines are all without a black screen, it's like, come on, guys.
Yeah, and he would like turn, like he would, he would open the cabinet and he would like turn to the left. And then, we lost like that connection in his eyes and the feeling because he was kind of doing too much, I think. So.
Less is more. Well, yeah, then good. Well, we'll keep being bold then. And I highly recommend it to people to at least take that chance, try to do something a little bit different. If you can up your game in the audition world, do it. My whole thing is I like to get a rise out of people. And I try to, I want to spark some kind of interest or at least get that brain firing for a second, when they see my tapes. And I've made jokes with Diego before on a former podcast about, I feel like statistically I should have booked at least 5 by now. If they say you book 1 in 50, I should have booked probably by 5. But I feel like the casting directors
should have booked 50.
I should have booked 50. Yeah, I've had a lot of auditions. But I feel like they just really like watching my tapes. I feel like I'm a really good auditioner. I get good auditions and I have great tapes. And they're like, let's see more Brad's tapes. We don't need them on set or anything, but we just want to watch his tapes.
Listen, if they're calling you back continuously, which they are, that means they like you.
Sure. And like we always, I only joke too, but it's, the part will be there.
No, it's frustrating, but like anyone who gets in this business, even on the management side, because I'm used to selling a house and I can make a $20,000, $30,000 commission like that.
Yeah.
But with management, I hustle for my clients to earn money. And if they don't earn money, I don't earn money. So it's definitely a lot more work. This industry, it's like you really have to love it. You have to be driven. You have to be dedicated. And you have to have a thick skin because you're going to be told no a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Even if I see my most talented actors, and it's personally helped my growth as an actress and my ego because, I get to see my most talented actors that are working. All my actors are talented, but let me rephrase that. The ones that are working the most because they're lucky, I see them get rejected all the time too. And so it's like, okay, Everyone's getting rejected. It's not just me. It's not just Brad. It's everyone in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of luck, and there's things that you can't control. I mean, we can only control our performance and maybe our choices, but we can't control our height. We can't control the way we look. So, at the end of the day, all of these decisions kind of factor into that.
That's right.
Even even an actress that's beautiful, like one of our beautiful girls, like, well, if she's prettier than the star of the show, maybe she'll steal the moment. So it's like, she's too pretty for this part or not pretty. It's just, there's so many factors.
Yeah.
We just have to be available as actors, be comfortable in our own skin. And when casting or director sees us and thinks, that's the color, I'm going to paint that into my production. And that's why we just need to be prepared for it. We're not always, if we don't get it, you're saying, it's not that we're bad actors. It's just that just not right for the role. And I think I feel like I took that in years ago when I got into this business. It's like, just always want to say yes, go to all your auditions, and give them opportunity to change their mind as well, because maybe you're not what they're looking for, but maybe you do something that changes their mind, and that gives you hope.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say something, but I just lost my train of thought. I was going to say, it'll come back to me. Okay.
It always does. It always does. So if somebody wanted to, if an actor was interested in, are you guys looking for clients at all? If somebody wanted to submit, what's the way that they would do it now for you guys? Go on a website.
What would catch your attention?
Yeah, we get people that submit to us that find us on IMDb. We get referrals from friends. So generally, like, if you're interested in management, email me and I would forward it to my partner. Do you want me to give the email address, or is it something like you link up or something? Or
yeah, well, sure, she could say it. Yeah, absolutely. If you want, if you still get bombarded with talent from all across the globe, sure.
But usually what we do is this: we look at every submission. But like I mentioned earlier, if we're mainly looking to fill the gaps in our roster, so it could be someone great, but then we think we wouldn't be able to do. We have someone already like you, so we just we watch every submission, and we like to just look at their materials. Some video footage if you don't have like professional. Like studio footage, just anything, even some of your self-tapes. Some actors that are newer, they'll send their tapes, and we just need to see footage.
Yeah.
And then actually what we'll do is we'll just respond back and just say we're interested. But if you don't hear back, it's not that you're terrible or anything like that. It just could be that you're not what we're looking for in this moment. Because it's a lot energetically when we take on new clients. It's like it's space in my brain, and it's like I can't overwhelm it. I want to focus on who I've dedicated myself to already.
Sure.
So, but at the same time, I'm open to more because I see the breakdowns. I'm like, oh man, we don't have an African-American lady in her 60s, or, oh, darn, I don't have so it's like, I see it and I want to submit someone for it, but I can only push the envelope so much. So if it's not that age or that ethnicity, then it's like, okay, but yeah. So that's kind of how it goes. We do go to like, more so before COVID started, but we have started it again. We'll go to like various acting schools, and they'll do like performance nights, and like we've been to Margie Haber and like just different schools around the city, and they'll have their actors do like a showcase night, and then we meet actors that way too. And if anyone kind of stands out, we'll call them in. But
that's awesome. Yeah. That's good to hear that you actually do that. I've got a really.
Oh yeah, we love it. We love it.
That's a friend of mine in San Diego. He's come up here a couple of times. He's taken acting classes down there with a teacher, and he's come up here because they use the Theater Row down there on Santa Monica and Highland over at the complex, and all those little boutiques. So yeah, he's come up here a couple of times. Well, that's good. It's really good to hear that managers and agents actually do get out there and try to go see the talent because.
Oh yeah, we found like our most special little stars, especially my special passion is like I love working with kids because I know the feeling when I was younger. That was my dream at 4 or 5, and it's like parents don't always know what to do. Maybe more so if you're from this town, but you could be. I was born in Arkansas, so it's like someone from Arkansas. How do I get my kid in acting? All they can do is enroll you in a local acting class, but. Sure. Here, it's like I have the ability to change people's lives, and we literally do it all the time. I mean, we found kids, you know, I can tell you a story of one of our talent. Kathy discovered her, but at this school that we go to in Santa Clarita, it's a performing arts school. And usually the kids that we meet have only been in classes for like a week. So they just naturally have that talent, because if we meet you that weekend, every weekend they invite a different guest. So if we're meeting you that Saturday and we think you're special, well, if we weren't there that Saturday, someone else would have picked you up, because, you know, we have an eye for talent. So it's like we have the same eye that other industry professionals do. If you're talented, you're talented. Well, this little girl had only been in classes for a week, and then Kathy signed her, and 2 weeks later, she's flying to London to shoot a lead in a movie opposite Kevin Bacon and Amanda Seyfried.
Oh my gosh.
That's amazing.
She's been up in the last few years. She's been up for like 2 other huge leads. One playing Julia Roberts' daughter. It was a replacement, and they ended up not needing to replace the actor that they had cast originally. And the other was Liam Neeson's daughter. And the girl who got it was this big, huge star that was in all the Marvel movies. And so it was like, oh, okay, that's the direction they went. But she's also been on Modern Family. She was a guest star. She played young Claire, and she had a scene with Ed O'Neill, like flashback from the 70s. It was the cutest thing ever, because it was Kathy's birthday, and that's her favorite show. So we went to set to watch her tape on her birthday. On Kathy's birthday, we just we loved it.
That's super cool. What a great birthday gift!
I love that story also. You know, but those are so rare.
And we found other kids there too, and it's like I have other ton of stories, but it's going to take up the whole day. But we have these other kids, these 3 boys that especially are, you know, I just adore the whole family. And all 3 of the boys, they're all working actors. And when we met them, they'd just been in a couple classes, but it was 4 years ago, so they were younger. But now the Colonel twins are 11, and then there's one that's 13. The 13-year-old had a national Capital One commercial playing basketball with Charles Barkley that ran for like a year.
Wow.
All 3 of them have been on various TV shows. LA's Finest, opposite Jessica Alba. One flew first class to Hawaii to shoot an episode of Magnum PI. The other is recurring on SEAL Team. It's great.
That's fantastic, man. Wow. If I could only do it, start it all over again, get back into it when I was 5.
No, the best is because they're Middle Eastern, but they don't, you know, being ambiguous, like, you know, you have the chance to play different ethnicities and stuff, but they actually speak fluent Arabic. But a lot of these shows, they want Afghanistan, which they speak Pashto, or like even Farsi or Turkish, or, you know, different ethnicities. But this role on Magnum PI, it was like, because even though I know they can't speak Pashto, I'm like, well, you know, I speak Farsi, so it's kind of similar, so I'll just figure it out for them to help them. And so I submitted it for this little, because I also know at that age, 9, 10, like how many boys are being submitted for, you know, an Afghan boy speaking Pashto. It's like the pool's smaller, you know? So anyways, I submitted him, and they called him in, and Dad's like, we don't speak this language. And I'm like, okay, this is, okay. So I broke it down, and I did the voice notes, and I'm like, this is how you say it. And anyway, so he ended up doing it the way that I thought was the right way, but I did my best because, like I said, I don't speak Pashto, I speak Farsi. So he gets the part, he goes on set, and I'm like, how did it go? Did everything go okay? And he's like, yeah. His dialect coach on the set kept saying, who told you to say it like this? Who told you to say it like this? Because it was all wrong.
Oh.
But he got the part.
Yeah, it was right enough to get the part. I mean, clearly the casting director didn't know, so...
We're just laughing because it's like, he's like, no, that's not how you say it. Who told you to say it like this? Like, manager?
At least you tried, you know what? Because it could have been...
he nailed it. The kids are so smart. I mean, if you have a professional dialect coach, like, if you watch the show, you're like, whoa. But it's just, he had it in his brain differently because of what I had told him, you know?
Yeah, that's fantastic, man. And congratulations to the dialect coach for, you know, really, they're doing their job. Clearly they're doing their job. They help the kids.
Yeah, it's good that they have those just to make sure everything is, you know, super authentic.
And then, you know what, that goes back to what we said before. Don't miss any auditions. Don't turn anything down, even when you think I can't speak this language. You know, get with your manager or get with your agent. Let's get with a dialect coach, get somebody who can help you, because I mean, if that kid missed that, he wouldn't have booked that thing. And who knows, you wouldn't work with that director, you wouldn't work with that producer, and who knows what else you're gonna be missing.
Oh yeah, he had a blast too. They had this because like they kept cursing on the set. And so they made this like little jar, and they're like, every time someone said a cuss word, they had to put like $1 or a few dollars in the jar, and he left with like $200-300. And he was always the best time.
A little per diem right there.
Here you go, kid. Sorry you had to listen to us curse all day.
Yeah. But at the same time, when you say don't, miss any opportunity, I truly believe in that. But I also will say it's really easy to get burnt out. So there might be a role that you're just not connecting to, or you just, you're tired, or and you're just not feeling your best, and you can't perform your best if you're not feeling your best. We all have other things going on in our lives. So I don't mind if an actor's like, I'm just not up for it, because you know what? This is your journey too, and it's a lot of work. So it's like, if you're not feeling it, it's okay sometimes to be like, brother, I prefer our actors just cancel the appointment than like submit a bad tape.
That's great to hear.
That's awesome to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like, it's easy to get burnt out, learning the lines and going through the emotional journey that this character is putting you through, because as an actor, you're going through it too.
Yeah.
And, it's just, sometimes you just don't want to do it. And that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I know. You really got me thinking about that one, too. It's like, you have a lot of empathy for the actors because you get it.
For sure.
And that's, what a great position to be in as a manager. Especially hearing that from, being our manager. It's just, it's so honest and real, and it's true. It is a journey, and you forget how emotional you really can be when he says say yes to everything. A lot of times I'll look at it and it's like, we look for something in it to say, no, this isn't right for me, or they don't see me in this because I don't see myself in this, or we always have these things in the back of our mind that let us know. And now that what you've said, it's letting me know that, what, it's okay though to feel that way, but again, I still don't want to miss the audition, because then there's just the opportunities are so slim. It's such a hard thing. A hard thing.
Well, sometimes if you are just, getting a few and then you're not up for it, then other times you don't have any for a long time. You're like, I don't care. I want to do it.
True.
Everything comes in waves. Sometimes it's really quiet, and sometimes things just come. So it's like, I guess it's just whatever's going on in your life at that moment. But yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm ready to work on something. I'm ready to book all these auditions, but it's good that they keep coming. I'm happy. I feel blessed. I feel very fortunate. And I'm still excited to be here. And that's the thing, I'm never going anywhere else. LA is my home. But yeah, I like the grind. I like the not knowing. I enjoy the rejection, because it's, it spurs you a little bit to be like, all right, well, I'm going to show you, then I'm just going to get better, and I'm going to go do it. I'm going to make it happen. Because, you're in control of your future. You're in control of your destiny. And if you want to do something, you just got to get out there and go do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you shouldn't say you're going to be better, because you're already fantastic. You're doing nothing wrong. It's other things that you cannot control.
Well,
unless you're literally not taking the time to learn your lines, and your tape is just all over the place and muddy, and then I feel like you need to work on your acting skills and grow. But you're already there. You're hitting a home run every time. It's just other stupid things that factor into getting the job.
Right place, right time.
Right role
for the right person. Mm-hmm.
And it's so competitive. They get thousands of submissions per role. Kathy is a part of this manager feed where they kind of give each other inside scoop about oh, my client read this, or they have people comment on it and stuff. It's a private group on Facebook. And one manager had said that shared an email with the casting director that had said, now not only are they getting thousands of submissions per role, but they're getting thousands of email pitches. Back in the day, we would take the time to pitch, and we thought for sure if they're right, they'll get called in, which we still do that, and we still get people in that way. But now it's dang, they're getting 2,000 email pitches? Gosh, it's crazy competitive.
That is really, really crazy. And now that you said that and I start thinking about it, I'm like, oh my goodness, I feel even more fortunate that I even get an audition. The fact that you can get in through that door. Can you imagine going to a building and there's 2,000 people running in through a door and you're trying to be one to get in? It's, wow.
Mm-hmm.
That is crazy. Crazy.
It is for sure. That's also why I feel because some of our actors are at different levels in their career where, I don't want to do a no-name co-star. No. So, but it it sucks to say this, but it does limit your opportunities because, you know, the big guest stars are now going to the stars. So not that you can't get an appointment for that, but it's just like, if you really want to just stay active and work. Now, on the flip side, I wouldn't say like, take like, you know, if it's like a huge show and they keep bringing you back, like you could be like, I'd rather wait for a different episode where the role's a little bit meatier.
Yeah.
But it could be a show, a different show that's a limited series, or the show's about to end. And it's like, okay, you know what? Let me do it because I want to work, and you still get the screen time, build a relationship, you get the residuals, and just feels good to be on set sometimes. So I say for my actors, like, just kind of keep an open mind and just know that, you know, work is work. You know,
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter. One line, like, I'm better than a one-line actor. Yeah, but you know what? If they want to give you that line, take it. Because you know what? You're getting on set and you're being seen, and you're going to run into these people again, and they're going to remember you on the set. It's like Hollywood is small. It's like such a small town, you know?
And you never know. They might bring those roles back. Something might happen where that role comes back and gets developed into something else. You never know what's going to happen with anything.
I'm glad you said that because that's happened. I know what I was going to say before. I just got my train of thought. Two things. What you just said has happened numerous times to our actors. One, client booked a co-star, no lines on the consultant, and he ended up being in every single episode.
Look at that.
And the other thing I wanted to tell you, this is kind of like off topic, but it was what I wanted to say before when we were just talking about the growth of the company and things like that. This year, it's almost the end of the year, but this year it's the first, but it was exciting for Kathy and I because we had 3 clients this year up for series regular roles. Like they, you know, we did the contract, like they were going to make X amount if they end up landing it. And one of the 3 is this young lady that she's 20 years old, and she's you know, more of like a character actress. So, you know, when she's right for it, but she's not always right for everything. And so we always submit everything anyone's right for, but we don't really get her a lot of opportunities because, you know, it's kind of like she's only right for certain things. So it's easy to, like, I don't want to ever say we forget about anyone, but it's just she's not like the first person that comes to our mind, you know, because we don't get her out a lot. And it's discouraging for us too. If we're not getting our actors auditions, it's almost like we want to say maybe someone else could do better for you, because I feel guilty too. Like, I want my actors to get out, but there's only so much that I can do, you know? But anyways, she got in for this show, this pilot that's shooting in Canada, and it's like a one-off. Like, she's been called in a few times theatrically, and they loved her so much that she had like a Zoom callback with the producers. Like, she was in the running to be the series lead on this show shooting in Canada. And we were just like, oh my gosh, it just goes to show, like, all of our actors are so talented. Even the ones that barely get called in, they're just, you know, it's like they're all special in their own way.
Yeah.
It just takes the right thing.
Yeah, that's exactly what it takes, the right thing. And once that right thing comes along, it's just like, all right, now you have a career in that. Just go work on that show until they don't need you anymore. And it also opens up doors for other things, you know. It's like, because Diego and I do producing as well, you know, writing, directing. We want to do other things in our career, right? We don't want to just be like pigeonholed into one thing. Nobody's a one-trick pony. Everybody's blessed with many more talents and skills. You just got to tap into them and find them. I enjoy producing. I like producing a lot. The thing that I do now, most of the producing I do is more like EP, but I just kind of bring people together. You know, I wish I had the funds to actually physically, you know, EP a proper thing where I could be putting hundreds of thousands of dollars into projects, because there's so many things I'd like to do.
Be told.
But, you know, once the series regular role takes off, that's exactly where all my money's going. After I pay my agents and managers and Uncle Sam, I'm going to put it right into projects that I want to do, you know. So, congratulations to your clients who are doing that and getting their leg up. And I can't wait for my turn.
It's coming.
I'm guessing you like to see your clients as well, just, you know, even though maybe they're not working or, you know, auditions are slim, you like to see them active in the acting community, I guess, right? Like you said, you like to go watch plays, you like to go watch these showcases. You know, some clients are maybe doing a short film and putting it in a festival. Like, you know, it's I guess you would motivate your clients to also just just get out and do stuff.
Yeah, Kathy always tells our actors, like, create your own stuff, do your own little skits on YouTube or whatever you can to be seen, and just stay kind of, current and fresh. And we love supporting our actors. We actually have so much fun together when we get invited. Our actors are in plays and things like that, and they invite us. We make a night out of it. We have a good time too. We'll go have a glass of wine, go to the showcase.
Beautiful.
We love it. But yeah, I would say personally, I love when my actors, and I think it is expensive, it is costly, but I think it's so worth it. So like if you can't do it every year, try to do it as often as possible. But I feel like the headshots, like when our actors get new headshots, it's always like, it's like new energy. It feels like, oh my gosh, like it almost feels like a new client, because it's like more fresh and exciting. I feel like casting directors see the same headshots all the time, and then just like their eyes kind of but then when it's new and fresh, it just kind of pops a little differently.
Good call.
And so when my clients get new headshots, there is always other shots from the past that still work great, that we'll still use, but it's always nice to have a few fresh ones, just to play around with it and see what happens with it.
Absolutely. Good to know. Because I need to get me some. And for the headshots, I know, are you a manager who likes to see archetypes? Do you want people to try on some scrubs and get a couple shots like that, wear a bandana so they can play a bad guy? Do you like that kind of stuff, or you just want them all, just no logos, no labels, and just very general, pretty commercially type shots? I
actually love it when they're like, if you're right for that, I would totally do a cop shirt,
Sure.
headshot.
Yeah.
Because it just it's just like, it just helps them visualize it better, I feel like. And do work. I have one client, she's like in her late 50s, and she has one with like a white doctor's coat on, and it's kind of like, it's even more full body, but not quite. And that one works all the time, like Grey's Anatomy doctor. She's really fitting the part. We have another girl who used to be in the military, in the Navy for 5 years. She has one with her military headshot. Obviously, she's gotten in for NCIS numerous times. I feel like, it's the more specific you are to that character, it makes you stand out more, 100%.
Sure. Well, adults, if you're listening, get your headshots at least once a year updated. And for kids, it goes without saying. We know, but if you don't know, then yeah, you guys, the kids grow up so fast. You got to get them a couple times a year, I would think, especially once they hit those spurts. And if you want to keep working, guys, your agents and managers need the tools. They got to have the tools to submit you. And if they're asking you for this, it's not because, they're jerks and they want you to spend money. They what they want is to be able to market you and be able to pitch you and be able to sell you so you can get those jobs. And if your business card isn't good, you got to get better business cards.
100%.
Yeah, the headshots are everything. They're really the calling card for an actor. And now they're becoming like, I look at photographers' work, and I have my favorite photographers.
Yeah.
Because their work is so cinematic, and it's just so like beautiful, and just it really pops. And you're looking at thousands, you're just going down the screen like, and then you see one that really stands out, and you're like, oh, and it makes you just drawn to that person. At least you're going to take a closer look at that person. But if their headshot 6 years old and it's just the lighting's different, it just looks stale,
Yeah. Yeah, that's good you say that. Mine are 2 years old, so I'm getting new ones. Diego, would you
Mine
like
is still black and whites.
Really?
I'm kidding.
That was the future.
No, but it's time. It's time for it.
When I first started like interning, like I said, it was, 12 years ago, 11 years ago. I would sit in the office with Kathy and at the Jan Luker agency, and she would print the breakdowns, and she would write the actor's name that she wanted to submit for the role, and then she would hand the paper to me. Then I would go, they had cubbies on the wall of every actor, and there was 8x10s of headshots and resumes in every actor's individual cubby. And I would go pull out that actor's headshot, and we would put it in an 8x10 manila envelope, and the messenger in the afternoon would come pick it up and deliver it to the studios.
Yeah.
We know it well.
Yeah, Diego and I used to do that for a talent agency way back in the day.
We were runners for a big talent agency, and we took those submissions to every casting office all over town and dropped off our headshots along with it, of course.
Of course we did.
Yeah.
Back when everybody's demo reels were on VHS tapes.
That's right.
So that's
well, I used to personally too. Like, I would get information for actresses that were like, oh, I want to go to this audition. I'm great for it. And one time I got myself on the studio lot, and the security was, I think it was Culver City Sony Studios, and I really wanted to read for this role. She's like, you're not on the list. I'm like, really? My agent told me 5 o'clock on Thursday. And then she's like, I love your dress. I'm like, oh, thank you. Yeah, I got it from here. She's like, okay, well, she's calling the casting director, and they were in session, so thankfully they didn't answer. They'd be like, no, we're not trying to see this girl. We're not answering. She's like, okay, I'll just give you a pass. I got myself on studios.
That's so lucky and so rare that happens. Guys, you got to take chances and be bold. Absolutely. Back in the day, it used to be a little easier. You could tag along with friends and go to commercials. And I had a Dunkin' Donuts commercial audition many, many moons ago. And I'm talking like 9, 10, 12 years ago. And I took a roommate of mine at the time with me. And he ended up booking it. He wasn't even a SAG actor. And he went with me. And because I told him, I was like, dude, you'd be perfect for this. You'd be perfect for this part. And I was like, you got to come with me. You got to come with me. And he went. And yeah, sure enough, he ended up booking it. We're super cool for him, And then later on, you're like, dang it, I gave that guy a regional commercial. That was my spot. No, but he was better for it. He actually looked the part. Really,
well, now
really
to bring that up, like friends and auditions, I want to address another point, another factor of things that have changed since COVID. Commercially, especially, well, yeah, only commercially, but nowadays the projects, the beer commercials and things like that, they say they want a real group of friends because of COVID, and like now it's like real families all the time, real groups of friends. So, if you guys like are wanting to audition together or whatever, like take a photo with a couple of your friends and put it up on your LA casting, because we have real friends booking all the time.
Huh.
They actually favor it too, because it's like, oh, the chemistry's there. They're actually really friends. So,
that makes sense.
I've seen some breakdowns, because I'll get on Actors Access and I'll go through there a couple times throughout the week and just kind of see what I can self-submit for. And I know it's not the good, juicy stuff our agents and managers are getting, but there's a few little tidbits that are in there. And, I'm just like, I'll go through and check some things out. And quite often I see things they're looking for real couples, and I'm like,
real couples all the time. So if you have a girlfriend, maybe you don't have to be like serious or something, but if you have like a person that you're comfortable with, throw a couple headshot, because those, when they see the real couples, yeah, an actor is willing to play a couple with another actor, but when you actually have a photo with your quote unquote partner, you get called in.
Yeah. And I've got a couple of dogs too, which actually I should probably take pictures of my pets.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
I took a picture of my motorcycle. I'm waiting to book one with that.
There you go. Yeah, I had a few of those as well.
Unfortunately, the SAG commercial, it's like 85% of the commercials are all non-union now. It's frustrating, but a lot of our actors have become FICOR because they want to work, and a lot of our actors do book non-union commercials, and they'll just get $5,000 buyout or whatever because they have to pay their bills.
Yeah.
So even though the union frowns upon being FICOR, it's like, what do you expect actors to do?
Exactly.
Commercially to be the bread and butter for an actor.
That's true.
That's right. Diego here has done over 75 in his career.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's amazing.
It's super amazing.
But it's super sad how it's changing, but we just gotta stay current, move,
one foot from the other.
With the punches.
That's right.
Say, right.
That's right.
Well, if you have a partner, Diego, throw a picture on your LA casting with your partner.
Cute little German, little redheaded German girl.
Okay. Throw her up.
All right.
And then it's going to be funny. See, it's like, I don't think I would want to post a photo of me and my lady, because then it's like, what if she gets in the biz and starts launching, and then I'm still sitting down supporting her? Like, all right, no, I tease.
You know what's crazy that you say that, because the Egyptian family that we represent, I told you about the kids earlier.
Yeah.
Well, they started doing all these real family commercials, and the mom and dad are not actors, but they started booking them as a real family. They work all the time. Oh. They've done numerous national campaigns as a real family. And one time, Uber had called them in. It was the advertising agency had worked with them on a previous project, and they called. They're like, "Hey, we have this Uber campaign that we want to see the Eldine family." And I was like, "Okay, great." And then they went to the casting, and then after casting called, they're like, "We're just going to use the mom," and she was like driving the Uber, and the mom and dad now do commercials individually. Like, it's all starting from real family, and now they're booking projects on their own.
Yeah,
love it.
Yeah, I wasn't joking.
It's crazy.
It happens.
The mom has booked a national commercial herself.
That's great, you know, and that's just the thing is you don't know unless you try, and sometimes it happens when it's least expected, you know, and when you're not putting that energy out there, it just kind of comes to you. So I guess island vibes, everybody.
It was always like the father's dream to be an actor, and then I think he saw his kids, you know, they had interest in the business, so it was exciting for him. And because he never tried, but, you know, it was always his dream. And now he's doing it and he loves it. He's like, I'm living my dream. You know, now he's in his 40s and it just kind of like just happened. So it's a crazy industry, but it's lots of fun.
It is lots of fun. It is lots of fun.
And thank you so much for all that info.
Yeah, we really appreciate you.
Hopefully it's helpful.
Yeah, we know your time is valuable, and so we won't keep you much longer. We do appreciate you being here and sharing all that with us. Yeah, thank you for saying that, Diego. And do you, if you want to plug anything, now's the time to do it. If you want to send out an email or to anybody, you want to say something, feel free. If you want to get bombarded with millions of calls and emails, leave all the information. Otherwise, we will be putting information in our description boxes. Yeah, when this goes live. So
yeah, you could post it. Just, you know, obviously just leave a note of, you know, be professional. And if, you know, you don't even have a headshot or, you know, any kind of training, preferably maybe get into a class and then consider submitting, because, you know, it's very competitive. So you have to kind of have your tools and your ducks in a row before you put yourself in front of, because you don't want to put yourself when you're not ready.
It's true.
That's right. Best foot forward.
Right. So just get yourself ready and then shoot me an email, and I promise I will open your email.
That's amazing.
Love it.
Well, Sarah, thank you so much for joining us on the Actor Factor. You were a plethora of knowledge, and we really, truly appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. You guys have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Sarah. Take care.
You're listening to the Actor Factor.
Wow. How cool, huh?
Yeah. I mean, you could tell... it's interesting when you're an actor and when you become a manager. I never saw that for myself. You know, I know a lot of people that are going into casting, or they go into all these different other things other than acting. But it seemed like she had a real knack for management before she knew it, I guess, you know?
Yeah. And then she had the discovery once she started helping people, right? That's kind of... So you never know where this business is going to lead.
She really sounds like she's in a great place.
Absolutely.
And doing exactly what she loves. And
that's
as we said before, you got to love it, because it is work, but it ain't work if you love it. It sounds like she does.
And as do we.
Yeah.
And that was fantastic having her.
It's a great interview.
We appreciate you all tuning in to another episode of the Actor Factor. And until next time, I'm Brad Ashton.
I'm Diego.
Take care.
See ya.
This has been the Actor Factor podcast with Brad Ashton and Diego Garcia.